Okay, awesome. So you guys know that your jobs are partnerships. If you're in the marketplace, you're in a relationship with the clients that you serve, and you're delivering direct value to either your employer or the public that you serve. Remember, with all these negotiations you guys are making with your employer, obviously over salary, I think like over in the general membership area, I talk more about salary negotiation. But again, some really great negotiation books. I'll link some of those book reviews below. I think the first one that comes to mind is Never Split the Difference. That one is super powerful. And honestly, like it pays for itself 100 times over if you can just get any kind of salary negotiation over with that book. So I'll link that below. It's really powerful. And again, I think I do talk more about it over the general membership area. I'm recording this content first, so yeah, it's just how it's working out. Super excited about it. Let's get this done. Super cool stuff. So today we're gonna break down sort of the biggest thing to create a better environment where you can serve others, you can serve the public more efficiently, create more value. And then when you are bargaining, you're bargaining with money that you've like already created, right? So you're putting up the work up front to build this base level of value. And then when you do try to, extract that value, take some out of it, right, and get that money, you've got a capital base to work from, which is a much easier place to work from, especially if you're going out and doing your own stuff, because you can't really deposit nothing in the bank, right? You have to create the value first and then turn that value into its cash equivalent through the marketplace and your clients, obviously, to go out there and crush it to serve the public much, much better by creating higher quality service, higher quality courtesy, just increasing the perceived value of your services. So let's go over to the computer. We'll break this stuff down, and we'll also break down your QQS rating. Super, super cool stuff. Let's go over and make it happen. So King calls this QQS, the QQS rating. And this is super, super important. We're gonna break down each aspect of this and then actually look what Andrew Carnegie said about this, which is so, so awesome. So starting off with number one, we have quality, okay? Huge, right? You gotta have quality. This is not an option, right? Quality of service means the performance of every detail in connection with your position in the most efficient manner possible, with the object of greater efficiency always in mind, right? So obviously with this written in an industrial mind frame, this is efficiency, right? This is also obviously quality. So, increase the detail, right? Make it better, higher quality. Obviously, you want to have, a happy product, a great product, and that's where it comes down to the quality of the goods or the services you provide to the marketplace, or obviously the service you provide to the marketplace relative to your efficient output. And higher output, higher efficiency, higher quality as an employee, obviously. You just have to judge where your skills are and then focus exclusively on those skills. So next up we have quantity, right? Here we have the quantity of service means the habit of giving all the service of which you're capable at all times, with the purpose of increasing the amount of service as you develop greater skill through practice and experience. Emphasis again on the word habit. So this quantity is based a lot more on your individual habit, right? To give 100%, to give everything you have, so that it's not necessarily like this guy can make this much, this guy can make this much. A lot of times the amount of output you have as an individual is based more so on the amount of employees at the firm, based off of like the marginal benefit, right? The marginal benefit. So as you add more people, maybe this is one person, this is 10 people, this is 20 people. If you get to like 40 people over here, you might have a lower marginal benefit. So you're focusing more on your individual ability to give 100% and give the maximum quantity possible, and try to increase the quantity while still maintaining that quality, understanding the fact that the output is really going to depend on the actual number of people that are working. So you might have more output if you have a greater area under the curve based on the benefit of including more people. And obviously it's sort of like your job to figure out, okay, well, how can I get the most output area under the curve possible while making the best decision here? Like, where does the benefit stop happening? So if it costs me $100 an hour to hire somebody and the benefits, $150 an hour, where does that benefit equal the cost? And obviously that would be where you would have the ideal number of people working. So it might lower individual output, but increase the overall area under this curve, overall chart of marginal, of the benefit, right? And if you have a surplus, maybe you add more people, but you have a lower rate, so your rate might be lower individually, but when you have more people, all of a sudden you still have this greater area under the curve. So don't focus too much on like specifically changes in output, especially if you're changing the number of people working at the firm. Focus more on your individual quality, and then obviously your ability to give 100+%. Go all in and crush it. Give it everything you have, because if you give it everything you have, you're pretty much going to be good. You just, as long as you're showing up, you're making it happen. I know there was this one guy I worked with. He came to work. He was like high twice. It was the most ridiculous, crazy thing. It was insane. He worked there for about like 6 days until he got fired. It was just crazy. That guy was not quantity. Oh my God, I forgot the N. Not a big deal. He wasn't quantity, right? Bam, quantity. And because of that, he wasn't given 100%. He couldn't get it done. He didn't have the habit of a quality work ethic. He was out of there, man. He's done. He's out. So just make sure, give that quantity, give the quality. But here's the really, really important game-changing part, and that is the S in QQS, and that's spirit. You might think, okay, well, what do you mean by spirit? Spirit of service means the habit of agreeable, harmonious conduct that will include cooperation from associates and fellow employees. Guys, this is so important. Adequacy of quality and quantity of service are not sufficient to maintain a permanent market for your services. The conduct or the spirit in which you deliver your service is a strong determining factor in the connection with both the price you receive and the duration of employment. This is so, so important. So this is your ability to work with others, and that's why in the earlier modules we developed your leadership skills, we developed your confidence, we developed your ability to be in a team environment and to work with people, right, towards an overarching goal. Work with others harmoniously. Big word there, but it's important. You got to work together well, and that's why it's also so, so important. We talked about it earlier, that emotional intelligence. Remember, and I'll link the book review below, but this is huge, right? And this is why, I've done so much work with the intelligence. I really hope I got that right. I'm pretty sure I did. With, personality development and socialization, especially through the My Little Pony content. Like, all of that is about increasing your spirit, increasing your ability to work with others harmoniously, increasing your emotional intelligence, 2.0, really good book, link the review below. And that's so huge because now all of a sudden you're fundamentally changing your ability to work with others harmoniously. If you can increase your spirit, it says it right here, spirit is the determining factor, right? You must adopt quality, you must adopt quantity, but the most important part is the proper spirit of cooperation equal to perfect marketing of service. With this formula, you apply it as a habit. You habitually increase the quantity, habitually increase your quality, but the most important part is to have that spirit. And it's tough because a lot of times you don't know how to do it. And so the best way really is to get out there and go hard, work in an environment, work with the team and socialize with them. Make sure you've got your emotional intelligence. And then obviously I've got that course I teach on harmony, and just the insane, just life-changing effects that My Little Pony has had on my life. I mean, I've watched 2 episodes before starting the modules today, and it's just crazy. It's so great. I might clip in, one of my Pump songs before I start recording this stuff a lot of times, and I hate to say it, but I kind of have it on video today. It's My Little Pony. It's so powerful. So that's my thing. That works for me. It's worked for so many people I know. It's amazing. And it's just really freaking powerful. So to emphasize the importance of spirit, let's go over to Carnegie. So Carnegie, he stresses this point more than any others in his description of the factors that led to the success in the making of his services. And he was talking a whole lot about how he could have people, no matter how great a quantity they could produce, or no matter how efficient the quality of their work. If unless that person worked in a spirit of harmony, right? Oh my God, this is insane, because they have these things in My Little Pony. They're called elements of harmony. Oh my God, it's so great. It's amazing. I'm just like, that changed my freaking life. It's awesome. He insisted that everybody was agreeable, and to prove that, he put such a high value on spirit that people who maybe they were producing a lot, or they had a very, very strong work ethic, if they didn't have that spirit, if they didn't have that emotional intelligence, if they weren't able to collaborate with others and build that team working environment, they couldn't do that. They had to make room for other people. And people that did have good spirit grew very, very, very wealthy. And he stressed the importance of pleasing personality much more than anything else, because the proper spirit will lead to the proper results, will lead to the proper quality, will lead to the proper quality and quantity. It all comes from your ability to please and serve as a spirit of harmony, as an asset for yourself. Successfully create a team conduct environment that's just going to crush it. I mean, I speak from experience. This stuff changed my life. The leadership stuff that we talked about earlier, but also like the My Little Pony stuff and developing that social skills, right? It's so huge for teamwork. I've had people that like just stop me and like, how do you do this? And I'm like, dude, it's all My Little Pony. I mean, it's just crazy. My entire personality. It's fundamentally changed my life, and that's why I'm super proud to have that, been made. So it's a cool course. I'm super excited about it. I hope you guys enjoy it too, because it's really, really cool. And it all comes down to this idea that spirit is so, so, so important. So I'm sure you guys have seen, about that stuff. But yeah, I'd highly recommend, if you're out there trying to crush it, that's the shortcut that got me from like basically just total loser with no friends to, freaking most popular guy in the world, right? At least in high school. Now obviously college, I gotta do it all again. But it's so easy now that I see this set path, and I've seen, how to freaking make stuff happen and get in front of people and be likable, right? Like all of that comes from a commitment of time and energy, and also education, right? So once you know what you're doing, it just comes naturally. And if you can make it come naturally, that spirit of harmony, it's going to fundamentally shift the way that you work on team projects. So many of the people I work with, so many of my partners, so many employees, so many coders, so many developers, especially at Monerads, like all those guys, I just hired them from school. And it's all because of this ability to have very deep connections and very strong socialization with people. Even when you might not necessarily have a lot of time to work with them, you create an aurora around you that attracts people, attracts success, attracts individual. And then once you have them in your sight, once you have them together, then you use your teamwork skills, then you use your social skills, and you go out there and crush it. And that's really what I try to teach in that MLP course, which is just, it's amazing. It's so powerful. It's awesome. So with that said, let's get over to the capital value of your services, and then we will tidy up this module for you, which is super cool. So got this stuff down, got it crushed. But there's a really cool thing. Hill says the person whose income is derived entirely from the sale of their services is no less a merchant who sells commodities. Remember, you're selling yourself in the marketplace if you're getting a job. Same thing if you're selling products or services. If you're trying to create value, right? And you have this thing and you want to get it to people. That thing could be a product. That thing could be a service. That thing could be you, right? It doesn't matter. You're always selling. You're in the marketing world no matter what you do, because you have to deliver this value and prove that, look, this is something that you want. This is something that you should turn into, pay money for. If it's your time, if your energy, you gotta remember, brain power is super, super important. And a lot of people, they focus on freeing their rules and conducting the responsibilities of those engaged in marketing commodities. But you gotta remember that you need to be in the business of selling. You're in the business. This is something that really changed my life when I figured this out. In the business of making money. And this is something, when I was starting out in the stock market, and I was like, wow, this is really, really cool. Like, this is awesome. I love what I'm doing here. I was like, I'm in the business of making money. Like, think about that for a second and absorb it and say, like, wow, that's not as bad as I thought, right? Like, people are freaked out about money, and how it's so, so terrible to multiply your annual income. But kind of chill out and And this is one of the bigger concepts behind the Millionaire Mind, right? Like that's a very powerful book, very powerful seminar. I mean, just amazing, amazing, amazing content. And with the Millionaire Mind, the biggest part of that is understanding that you can and should have more wealth, and you can be in the business of making money. And as soon as you get that down, all of a sudden you can have abundance in your life, so you can focus on what you're passionate, what you care about, and work towards that overarching long-term goal with a stability and security to make it happen. It all comes from this idea of the Millionaire Mind. So I'll link that book review below. That book review is amazing. It's just so cool. That stuff changes your mindset. So instead of having your mind set to like making a couple thousand a month, add a zero to that. Get yourself used to adding a zero to that. And then think, okay, how can I add another zero to that? Get yourself used to thinking how you can add another zero to that. And do it again and again and again. That's how you become more valuable. That's how you become more likable, right? You leverage this likability. You leverage social capital to create increased income. So with brain power, right, the actual capital value of your brain may be determined by the amount of income you can produce by marketing your services. A fair estimate of the capital value of your services may be made by multiplying your annual income by 16 2/3. 16 2/3. And it is reasonable to estimate that your annual income represents 6% of your capital value. Money rents for 6% per annum. Give or take with bonds, that's about right. Money is worth no more than brains. It is often worth much less. Contempt brains, if effectively marketed, represent a much more desirable form of capital than that required to conduct a business dealing in commodities. Remember, you are not a commodity. There's a significant difference between money and your brain and your knowledge and your expertise, and that's because nobody can take away your brain and your knowledge and your expertise, right? Like if you're watching this and you're learning from this and you're applying this and you're taking notes on this stuff and you have this knowledge base, all of a sudden you can teach that. That is a valuable service. This is a value that you can give to people and you can share with them. Secret formula, you can share with them. They can grow with you, share with them whatever you want. Now that you have this in your head, it is a valuable asset to you, right? This is because brains are a form of capital that cannot be permanently depreciated through depressions, nor can this form of capital be stolen or spent. Moreover, the money essential for the conduct of business is worthless as sand dune until it has been mixed with efficient brains. This money here is not worth anything unless you have smart people like you are out there making it happen and applying it by using your knowledge to then turn those skills into income and create results as a team-based environment in the marketplace. And that's why when you look at an estimate of the capital value of your services, multiply it, figure out what the lifetime value is based on that 6% number, right? You want to think about how can you increase your annual income and by therefore increase your lifetime value and therefore increase your value as a person. What does that mean? Does it mean reading 9 to noon? Does it mean learning more about capital markets? Does it mean learning more about finance? Does it mean learning more about emotional intelligence? Does it mean learning more about team building? Does it mean learning more about marketing? Does it mean learning more about an online business? Whatever you can do to increase your annual income, remember you're also increasing your brain worth, your net worth, your head's worth, so you can deliver more value to people and create higher income to therefore realize a higher worth of your life. Remember, your actual value, your annual income is not set in stone. When I was working at Subway, my annual income, right, it was not set in stone. It's not like for the rest of my life I'm going to be working part-time at Subway and making like $4 or $5 grand a year. Like no, right? Like no. So you have to understand that you have the power to change what's inside of you. You have the power to change what you demand from the marketplace. Like we talked about earlier, the marketplace will pay any price you desire as long as you deliver that value and create that overarching long-term goal and freaking work towards it. Work your butt off and crush it. If you can do that, you're going to go out there. You're going to be amazing. It's all based on this internal ability to increase your value through education, through skills, a lot of times through very specialized training like this. Instead of maybe general education, you focus on a very specialized aspect you want to get better at. You take advanced training like this is a very great example of specific training, and then you use that as a way to increase the capital value of your services, increase your income, increase your whole life's worth. It all comes down to your ability to make an investment in yourself. And that's why, you know, all these training programs, all these books, all these courses are so powerful, because you're not only increasing your temporary income, but you're increasing your overall lifetime earning potential. Super powerful stuff, guys. Hope you use it to skyrocket your income and crush it. I'm super excited for the next module. We're going to look at some of the major causes of failure and how you can avoid them and use that as fuel to skyrocket your success. That is so exciting, so awesome. So hey, I'll see you guys in the next module. Thank you so much. Hope you get a ton of value from this, and I'll see you later.